diet. And as everyone knows that this is International Year of Millets, which is being celebrated. So again, emphasis is being given on small millets, and all efforts from all sides, from government, non-government, and everybody are being made to include small millets in our diet. Now we are talking of millets. The question is, why millets? Why we are now so much concerned with the millets? This is mainly because of two reasons. One is concerns on food and health, and second is sustainability. Because of lifestyle changes, there is so much of stress, and hidden hunger is also there. Hidden hunger means deficiency of micronutrients in human body due to excessive use of refined grains, oils, sugars, preservatives, and many chemicals, and they are causing chronic diseases. So in order to prevent those, we are talking, or we want to include small millets in our diet. And another reason which is related to this is that millets are termed as nutri-cereals. They are rich in nutraceuticals, and they can act as functional food. Small millets can act as functional food, and functional foods are those which are nutritious at the same time they have some added benefit. There are many small millets which are grown in India. Major millets are sorghum and pearl millet, that is jowar, bajra. And small millets include many millets: finger millet, which is Eleusin kana, banyan millet, foxtail millet, proso millet, kodo millet, and little millet. But when we see the recent classification, then you will find that finger millet has also been included in major millet. But because this is also very important now, but according to previous classification, in small millets include all these millets. And there are several names by which they are known in public. For example, finger millet is known as ragi, madwa. In Uttarakhand, it is known as madwa. In South, it is known as ragi. Then in different states, it is known by different names. Banyan millet. Banyan millet is commonly known as sawa. And in Uttarakhand, it is named as jhangora or madira. Little millet is kutki. Then kodo millet is, name is very similar, kodo. Then foxtail or Italian millet, this is also known as German millet. And this is koni. In Uttarakhand, it is known as koni. Other names are given. Then proso millet, it is China. The grains of foxtail and proso are quite similar. You see the dehusked grains and the whole grains, and also earhead of foxtail millet. The earhead looks like foxtail. That is why it's known as foxtail millet. Then this is barnyard millet, earheads, and then polished grains are there. And you see the whole grains with a lot of hull in that. These are banyan millet in the field, kodo millet, again finger millet. These are proso millet grains. Another reason which I mentioned, that is why we are talking of millets, is sustainability. One is related to food and nutrition, and second is sustainability. The small millets have wide adaptation. They can withstand weather vagaries, and they can also withstand certain degree of soil acidity, alkalinity, and stress due to moisture and temperature variations in soil. And they can survive harsh climatic conditions, require far less water than paddy or wheat. And traditionally, the practice was that not to use so much of, or not to take so much of care by irrigation or fertilizer. And for majority of rain-fed conditions of our country, these may be one of the ideal crops to cultivate. And approximately 51% of total sown area in India is rain-fed. Then let's come to nutritional quality of finger millet, foxtail, and banyan millet in relation to rice and wheat. When we see the nutritional quality, they are far, far superior. See, protein content. Here, 7.3. These values are according to nutritive value of Indian Foods ICMR, NIN, Gopalan et al. But now other varieties have been evolved which have 11% protein, 14% protein. 14% protein has been observed in white finger millet varieties. Although white finger millet varieties are not very common, but VPKS has evolved some finger millet varieties which are white, which have white grains. Then foxtail millet 12.3, banyan millet 6.2. In case of banyan millet also, protein up to say 11% has been seen, and rice protein is quite low. So it ranges from 6 to 8% only. And here the value is 6.8, and in wheat it is say 11.8 or 11 to 12%. Then fat 1.3 in finger millet, foxtail millet 4.3. Then minerals, these are very much rich in minerals. You see rice has just 0.6 gram per 100 gram, that is percent, whereas finger millet 2.7, foxtail 3.3, or barnyard 4.4. Then fiber content is also very high, and barnyard millet contains 9.8% of fiber against rice, that is just 0.2. Wheat has 1.2, and these are the values of crude fiber. But normally we talk of dietary fiber, which those values are much higher than crude fiber. Then carbohydrates, almost similar range, and energy. Small millets are wonder grains. As just now I mentioned, the nutritive value is very high. They contain high fiber. Fiber is not a nutrient, but it is must in our diet. It has many advantages. And low cholesterol is written. Millets don't contain cholesterol. In fact, any plant food does not contain cholesterol, but they lower cholesterol of the body because of some fibers which are present in millets. They act as functional food and they lower cholesterol from the body. They have high resistant starch, and especially barnyard millet has this important quality, high calcium. No other grain contains that much of calcium which is present in finger millet. Finger millet contains approximately 344 to 364 milligram per 100 gram of calcium. This is very rich in calcium, and if one takes just 2 mandwa roti or finger millet roti, that is equivalent to 1 cup of milk. That much calcium is retained in the body. So this is, I would try to highlight this point, that this is very important. Then it is high in micronutrients, means minerals and B vitamins. I talked about calcium, then iron, magnesium, potassium, chromium. All other minerals are there in good quantity, and these have low glycemic index because of the phytochemicals which millets contain. Because of those reasons, millet products have low glycemic index. But the demerits are there. The bottlenecks are that millets have, they lack gluten. Gluten is a binding substance, and because of that, for example, wheat chapati you can roll this wheat chapati. By rolling, you can make it. But if you take millet chapati, then it's difficult to roll unless, because it lacks gluten. Then grittiness of flour that is there, and characteristic flavor is associated with millet. So many people may not like it. And another very important reason is difficult processing. I worked about say 38 years on millets, and this was the point which was most I think difficult one, because mills are not available for processing of millets. Now some mills have been developed, like for example VPK Salmoda has developed Madhva thresher by which finger millet can be processed. And in fact, finger millet does not require much of processing, but other millets require, and in those millets, removal of hull or husk is necessary. But now some mills have been developed by ICR in Bhopal and in some other CFTRI and other regions also. But to public, these are still, I would say that not very much available. Then, as I mentioned, that low glycemic index of millets is there. That is, the products which we make out of millets have low glycemic index. So there are several advantages. First of all, it delays aging, and this is also recommended to reduce weight. Then it is if these products are consumed with low glycemic index, then it increases HDL cholesterol, which is said to be good cholesterol. So it is good for heart patients. It also helps in prevention of these diseases. For example, diabetes can be prevented. Then let's come to processing of millets. Primary processing, milling. Milling is must in order to utilize the grains. It may be utilized in the form of flour. So milling is done. And secondary processing, so there are several ways by which millets can be utilized. And these processing procedures are propping, malting, flaking, extrusion, fermentation. So one process, malting, I would say that this is the most important from the point of view of increasing the nutritive value of the grains and making it most easily digestible. Most of the baby foods contain malted barley flour or wheat flour. Why? Because when we malt the grain, it becomes easily digestible. And most people also know about sprouting the grains, because when we sprout the grains, then enzymatic activity, they increase. So in malted flour, it has high amylase activity. It is suitable for baby food. And other activities, for example, protease, that will also increase. And bioavailability of minerals, that increases. So that is very, very important. So malted flour is very rich in, I would say, in nutritive value. Then another method is popping. Popping of millets, just like you pop corn, but you know, a popcorn has big grains, and but the millets have a small grain size, and most of the time it's 100% popping is not achieved. In case of finger millet, we observe 87 to 99% of popping. So what happens when it is semi-popped, not fully popped, so some hull remains there. So like when you eat it, then the hull will come in the mouth, and it's means difficult to eat. So after popping, the flour can be made, and that can be utilized in various dishes. And this is the flow diagram for preparation of malted flour. It is a simple technique. For example, if you take millet, clean it, steeping, it may be, it is different time for different millets. For example, finger millet, 20 degrees centigrade for 8 hours. germination for 36 hours, then drying in oven for 45 degrees centigrade for 6 to 8 hours, then devegetation, kilning. Kilning is a process of roasting at low temperature, that is 70 degrees centigrade for 45 minutes, then dehusking, grinding, sieving, and the malt flour has very pleasant aroma. And this can be utilized in many foods. And then this is the flow diagram for popping of millets. Millets be cleaned, washed. The grains have a small size, so it is always preferable, or I would say that it is must to first wash the grains and dry them and then use them. So washing, soaking in water for 1 hour, then again drying. Then thereafter they may be popped in salt, or some popping machines are also available. But for popcorns, those are commonly available, but popping of millets means it's not very common. Then after popping, this may be sieved to remove the salt, then pop grains are there. And then those may be ground and then sifted to get the flour. These are the pictures of popped finger millet grains. This is foxtail millet grain. Then I will come to some other products. Baking. Baked products are very popular. So buns were made using finger millet and also other millets. So this is washing and drying in hot air oven at 50 to 55 degrees centigrade, debraining. That is the seed coat, just seed coat is removed, then atta is made using the deceived. And when we make food products, then only a certain percentage of millet can be used. So we tried for maximum incorporation of millet. So that was observed to be 40%. And as I mentioned in the beginning, that they lack gluten. So gluten is available in the powder form. So that is to be added in order to have binding property. So 8% gluten was added in this. Then other buns were made using foxtail millet. Procedure is almost similar, and in this also 40% foxtail millet will be used with 8% of gluten. Then several convenience mixes have been developed for preparation of supplementary foods. Foods may be used for, say, young children and also infants. Nowadays, I see it is really a gloomy picture to see young children eating packets of junk foods. If you are sitting in the train or bus or in public, you see that mothers give them one packet of chips, they finish it, then they ask for other one, even maybe biscuits. Most of them, biscuits are made up of, say, refined wheat flour, maida. So this is from the very beginning, they are taking so much of chemicals in the body. The foods which are available in the market, commercially available foods, so they contain a lot of chemicals. So those are very harmful. Then maida itself is very harmful, and potato. So some nutritious foods can be made, and they can be made at household level. They can also be commercialized. And earlier I talked about buns which are available in the market. They are of maida. So they are not at all good for health. But here we are, by incorporating millets, we are incorporating fiber, we are incorporating micronutrients, and protein is also good. So these are all healthy products. Then multi-purpose convenience mixes for one mix was made, and from that 4 different products could be made, like laddu halwa, same, and weaning gruel. Weaning gruel, like up to 6 months means only the baby should be fed breast milk only, and thereafter other things may be given. So weaning gruel is also good for them. And then individual convenience mix, that is a separate mix for laddu, matri, and these are all our Indian products. Traditional products, I would say that those can be made. And in all these products, maximum millet incorporation could be observed up to 65%, not more than that. And this is nutrient composition of different convenience mixes. I would not go into this because I would tell that they are naturally rich in say fiber, protein, calcium, and since in some of the products malted flour was used, so they are also containing vitamin C. They have good amount of niacin, and energy of course is there. These are the pictures from multi-purpose convenience mix. When that is, one mix can be used for making 4 different products like laddu, halwa, weaning gruel, same. Then products from convenience mixes. This is kachri, laddu. Individual convenience mixes are there. Barfi, this is very similar to son papdi. And foxtail millet and barnyard millet. By using those products similar to son papdi can be made, but expertise is required for that, because that halwais are needed for such things, or somebody may develop a skill. Then these are kachri and papad, which can be made using millets. Sorry. Then the very important point is that when we talk of baby foods or say weaning gruel, nowadays like there is tendency to purchase some mix baby food from the market, and then it is as per instructions, it is prepared. I would not like to name that particular food, but I would say just a proprietary mix. You see, this is viscosity is given. It is very high viscosity when you use a market mix for making baby for making gruel. That is, you take certain amount, say 1 tablespoon of that mix, and add say 100 ml of lukewarm water, and add some sugar or jaggery. The weaning gruel is prepared. And when we use our mixes, then viscosity is so low, 11 centipoise, 17, 13, and here it is in thousands. So the advantage is that when you take similar amount of mix and it is quite thin, then the baby can swallow it easily and can eat, say, just double of that amount of that market mix. So this is very advantageous. Then baked products of millets, we talked about buns and like cake, cookies, then cake, rusk, bread, all these can be made using millets. And these are the donuts. Normally donuts are available in the market. They are made up of maida with egg, and we have tried with millets, with finger millet, by adding certain amount of finger millet. And also like in this, these contain egg, but eggless donuts have also been tried, and they also come out very well, very good. Then noodles. Noodles, again, that they are made up of like maida or semolina. So 30% of oxtail millet could be incorporated, and the sensory quality evaluation is always done when we make a product, and it was gluten level was 3.5% when it showed the best sensory quality. It was a local extruder machine These are for making noodles. Noodles are made, then they are cut. Then let's come to bread. I was talking of finger millet. Dark varieties and light varieties are also available. So we tried making bread from those varieties. But there was not much difference in the final product of the bread. Finger millet is dark in color. So when you make its products, then they have dark color, and that is why many times they disqualify, and especially children, they don't like to eat those. For example, if you make roti, finger millet roti, it's dark in color. Wheat roti is white. So we try to make bread using dark color and light color variety, but we did not observe much difference because only 30% of 30 to 40% millet flour could be used. So on the final product, there was not much difference in color, but it was very much acceptable. These are foxtail millet bread containing foxtail millet flour. They come out very well, very tasty. And this is a foxtail millet instant vermicelli. In this case, 100% foxtail millet was used using gluten, guar gum, glycerol, monostearate. And all this means some of these products have been filed for getting patent. So these are instant vermicelli. Normally, when we use vermicelli, we like sweet vermicelli, then we have to cook in milk. And these are the instant one, that is, you just take lukewarm milk, add these vermicelli and eat it. This is about product development, how these were made. That is, foxtail millet flour was mixed with powdered sugar. Then hydrated guar gum with water was added to this gluten, and GMS was mixed. Then dough was prepared using hydrated guar gum. Then it was kept at room temperature for 30 minutes. And vermicelli was made using hand-operated extruder machine using 1 mm hole-size die. Then dried in tray dryer at 50 degrees centigrade till 5 to 7% moisture remained. Then roasting was done in oven and stored in bags. The nutritional quality of control and optimized instant vermicelli. Controlled vermicelli made up of maida, refined wheat flour. You see the difference. Crude protein just 7.87, and foxtail vermicelli have 12.40. Crude fat is again a bit higher in foxtail millet vermicelli. Crude fiber is just quite high, 1.8 in foxtail millet, and this is just 0.17 in refined wheat flour vermicelli. Total ash, again, total ash means total mineral content. Again, it is quite high in instant vermicelli as compared to refined wheat flour vermicelli. Then carbohydrate, energy. Then instant barnyard millet pulao. Barnyard millet, which is also known as changora in this region, Uttarakhand. In Uttarakhand, the most commonly grown millets are finger millet and barnyard millet, and all other millets are grown in less area. Barnyard millet has very good property that it has resistant starch, so it can be used as a substitute of rice. Some rice varieties were reported to having glycemic index in mid-range. Mid-range means when glycemic index is below 55, we say that it is low glycemic index. When the glycemic index is between 55 to 70, we say that this is medium range. And when glycemic index is more than 70, we call high glycemic index. So we took several rice varieties which were in which were showing low glycemic index in other research papers, and also medium one. And then we compared their product with banyan millet product. So these two varieties were chosen, Swarna and Masuri. But in our studies, they showed high glycemic index, or in medium range. And the protein of banyan millet instant pulao was 11.7% against 6.58% protein in Swarna variety and 6.75 in Masuri variety of rice. And low GI of 34.12 was observed in instant banyan millet pulao. Normally, diabetic patients means they really somehow they have some mental pressure, like not to control their diet, especially not to eat rice. So if this can be used as substitute for rice, this is very good option for diabetic persons. This is fresh pulao. Then this is dehydrated one, and then this is again means after rehydrating. Pizza is a very, I would say, very popular junk food nowadays, because it is made up of maida, and of course cheese and some vegetables are used, but most of the time they are just nominal. So here low glycemic index and hypolipidemic pizza base was made using finger millet. And why I say hypolipidemic? Because trials were done on rats, and albino rats were taken, and experts were there with who can rear the animals, and from those department, and this was done under their guidance. So low glycemic index, hypolipidemic pizza base were made. Here you see the comparison of finger millet incorporated pizza base and refined wheat flour pizza base. Both values are given fresh and dry weight basis. Fresh weight basis, you see total ash, that is mineral content 1.77, whereas maida pizza contains just 0.42. Protein is also higher in this, 11.08, whereas it is 8.17. And you know, finger millet does not contain more protein as compared to wheat. But since we are using gluten in this, and gluten is protein, so that is why we are getting higher values of protein. Then fat, crude fiber. Crude fiber again is high here in this finger millet incorporated pizza base. Then carbohydrate and energy. Then mineral composition, total dietary fiber, finger millet and calcium. See, this is so much high in calcium, 183.88 milligram, whereas refined wheat flour pizza base has just 22.66. Then phosphorus is just double in case of this pizza base. Iron is also higher. Copper is less in this. Then zinc again is higher in finger millet pizza base. Total dietary fiber is very high, 10.98, whereas it is just 5.48. So I would say just double. And antioxidants, these are also very much rich in antioxidants. So antioxidants, if the product is rich in antioxidants, it will prevent aging in the body. So these are the values. Then glycemic index of maida pizza base is 58.06, whereas it is low, quite low, 36.23. And when we used like when toppings were done, then in maida pizza base, it was in the medium range of glycemic index, 61.22. and this was the low, 46.05. These are some of the pictures and of experiments. And HDL, in case of rats, HDL cholesterol was also found to be higher. Then barnyard millet pizza base, similar experiments were there. And in barnyard millet pizza base also, you see total ash content is again more than 3 times in barnyard millet pizza base. Then protein is a little higher, crude fat is high, then crude fiber again is high, carbohydrate, energy. And again, calcium is in barnyard millet and refined wheat flour pizza base, not much difference in calcium, a little higher in maida pizza base. And phosphorus is higher, of course, in barnyard millet pizza base, iron little higher. Then zinc again high, and dietary fiber is high in barnyard millet pizza base. And glycemic index, barnyard millet pizza base, low glycemic index, maida pizza base 58.06. And when after toppings, then for maida pizza, this was 61.22, and for barnyard millet pizza 43.43. Then again, these are the pigs for this thing. And then gluten-free foxtail millets. Okay, so gluten-free foxtail millets, you know, a certain percent of population, maybe nearly 10% of population suffers from celiac disease. Celiac disease, that is insensitivity to gluten. They cannot eat wheat chapati or any such thing which is which contains gluten. So for such people, gluten-free products are must. So muffins, foxtail millet muffins were made using 100% foxtail millet flour, and these are really very delicious, and they are rich in crude fiber also. They contain good amount of protein, that is 6.65%, and minerals also 1.85% respectively. Then these are the, like I talked about, the millet food products which can be made using the millet flour. And then there are, when the millets milling is done, then there are several byproducts of the millets, like hulls. In milling, it is the outermost layer of the grain contains lignin, cellulose, hemicellulose is used as animal feed, paper and textile can be used. Like for animal feed, its use is quite common. Then bran, outer layer of the grain removed during milling. It is rich in minerals, vitamins, and can be used as nutrition supplements and for animal feed also. Then germ, a portion is rich in protein and oil, used as animal feed in cosmetics because of linolenic acid that can be used in cosmetics. Then starch may be extracted from endosperm. And as I explained, that this has very low viscosity and it can also be used in production of glucose. Then export of millets in 2000, these are the FAO data. In 2010, it was being exported to some countries, and this is the latest figure in 2021. The UAE, Nepal, Saudi Arabia, Oman, Yemen, Libya, Tunisia, Qatar, Morocco, then UK of Great Britain and Northern Ireland. So India is exporting millets to these countries, and this data show just export of millets, but in which form, like some millet cookies, it is also being exported in form of millet cookies. And then this is a book in which I have, I have put in my research experience of 38 years. And this was just published in last year, Small Millet Grains, the Superfoods in Human Diet. And, you know, I served as a professor and head in the Department of Foods and Nutrition. So there were a lot of work. I guided 45 MSc students and say about 15 PhD students. So a lot of work was done by my students and also through some projects, ICR projects, then DST projects and NATP, etc. So all the work I compiled in this book. Then these are some, say, I would not say like this is the extension material. It was published by Sameti Uttarakhand, Mandwa ke Paustik Vyanjan. And these are the two booklets, I would say. These are the products, extension booklets, which were the outcome of some projects. Then we have filed 6 patents, and I would say that this is a property of GP Pant University. Pant low-fat fruit muffins. Here I did not mention about those. You know, in making muffins, we used fat replacers so that the fat content is low. Then Pant low glycemic index noodles, Pant low glycemic index and hypolipid pizza base, then Pant instant sweet vermicelli, Pant gluten-free muffins, and Pant low GI instant pulao. And these are speaks of some of the trainings which we used to organize in hills and also in plains, and some clips, newspaper clips. Yes, I would like to recite a poem written by myself, Mote Anaj. You know, it has been my passion. So I think you would also enjoy. हम मोटे अनाजों की शख्सियत है न्यारी, मोटे लोगों के लिए है ये अति प्यारी, कोलेस्ट्रॉल उनका कम हो जाता, ब्लड ग्लूकोज भी ज्यादा ना बढ़ पाता, कब्ज स्वयं ही है दूर हो जाता, कैंसर रोग भी होने ना पाता, किसी जमाने में हमारे भी दिन थे, हम लोगों के भोजन में शामिल थे, अब तो हम पर ध्यान न दिया जाता, हमें गरीब का भोजन ही माना जाता, हमें हे दृष्टि से ही देखा जाता, हमारी मिलिंग का तरीका भी ना आता, हम भोजन में विविधता है लाते, सूखा पड़ने पर कितनों का जीवन है बचाते, हम पर भी अब कुछ ध्यान दिया जाए, हमें भी श्रेष्ठ का दर्जा मिल जाए, बायोडायवर्सिटी की जब बात चले, हमारे कंजर्वेशन की भी नीति बने, यहाँ बस यही बात हमें कहनी थी, हम मोटे अनाजों की यही बखानी थी. I would like to add 2 more lines because now the scene has changed and this was written long back. So I would like to add that अब हमारे दिन भी आ गए हैं और हम भोजन में शामिल हो गए हैं. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am, for a wonderful talk and presentation. I will take up the questions from the participants now.
Okay, thank you.
So the first question is, what are the key processing techniques or technologies involved in value addition for small millets?
You know, key processing techniques, I would say that simple milling. If you have if you have grains and if you wash the grains, dry them, and they can be sold in the dry them, and after say dehusking, for dehusking, millets can be sold. That is value addition. And then millet flour can be utilized in different food products. And so I talked about several food products. So millet flour can be sold. That is also a value addition. And then it can be incorporated in different products, which can be commercialized. And then for making, for example, if one wants to commercialize baby food, in that form of value addition, malted millet flour must be used, or popped millet flour can also be used. Then there are fermentation techniques also, some making some beverages, alcoholic, non-alcoholic beverages, and some African countries, those are common. But means I personally have not worked on fermentation techniques. So these are the processing techniques by which, and also extrusion. Extruded products can be made by using the extruder, and like pasta-like products can be made, and also right. So these are the techniques.
Okay, I'll move on to the next question now. What are the advantages and challenges of establishing small-scale processing units for value addition in millets?
The biggest challenge I have is establishing the mills in different areas for processing of millets. That is because this is the biggest bottleneck. I have recently started NGO. This is, I would say, in infancy, just 1.5 months old baby. So my plan is to launch certain food products in the market to commercialize them. But the main drawback is that mills are not available. They are available at laboratory scale level. And for finger millet, it's quite easy. For finger millet, you just wash the grains, dry them, grind them, and use them. So finger millet is the most easiest to use. But for other grains, milling is must. And suppose you follow the same procedure for, say, barnyard millet or foxtail millet, that is, if you just wash the grains, dry them, and just grind them using means at home scale or in some Wiley mill or any type of mill, then save it. But it will impart bitter taste, so it cannot be used without removing the hull or husk. So that is the biggest challenge which prevents from value addition of millets or commercialization of millet food products.
Okay. Are there any specific value-added products from small millets that have high demand in the market?
High demand, normally cookies. Cookies are the most common one. Millet cookies, or you can call them biscuits. They are available. Then madwa or in the form of flour, finger millet flour. In South, popped millet flour, popped millets are also available, but not in, I would say, very high demand. Gradually, slowly means people are becoming aware of millets and they are trying to use it. And they are trying, means first of all, they buy a small quantity and see what is the taste and then use. And online, like these are very costly. So means I would say that a particular percentage of population is using those products and not the lower middle class.
Okay. How can agri-entrepreneurs tap into the value-added markets for small millets and create sustainable business models?
Sorry?
I repeat the question, ma'am. Just a minute. How can agri-entrepreneurs tap into the value-added market for small millets and create sustainable business models?
How can they? Okay. First of all, they have to find out a source. For example, first of all, they have to choose particular millet, which millet they want to work on. And since I talked about the small millets, A lot of work means, say sorghum and pearl millet, they are already in market. Lot of products are there, but I am talking of a small millet. So first of all, they have to select particular millet. Then where from they can procure, what is the source of procurement of millets, that they have to locate so that they can get at low cost. Like if some farmers are growing it, so like they should have some bonding with those farmers so that it is a regular supply of millets is available to them at the lower cost. And then they should have some like try to find out some mills where they can milling can be done. Or if they want to establish particular plant, for example, they want to have some extruded snack, then they will have to establish that plant, and they will have to work out all the economics, like what would be the cost of the product, then how much profit would be there. Then packaging is another very important aspect. Sometimes back here I saw in our region, in certain program, cookies were made in large quantity. And since it's like polythene is not to be used, so the cookies were wrapped in, say, butter paper, and then they were packed in cardboard boxes. Cookies will imbibe moisture, so their shelf life will not be like as what it is. They will be spoiled in short duration. So packaging, they should also see for example, for how to package those products. And so all those things are to be taken care, and then they can enter into the market. And another thing which is very important, that they have to also find out the market. Where is the market? If it is to be sold online, what is the demand? Where is the market? So those things are also very important. So this way it can be done.
Okay. Are there any government schemes or support available for farmers or individuals interested in value addition in small millets?
There are MSME and some schemes are there. And in fact, I have not explored them much.
Okay. We have one more question from our member, Mr. Mohan. He's asking, how about quality parameters for final value added of millets if one wants to export product to USA, UK?
Okay, FSSAI regulations are there, first of all. For all products, one has to see those. And for export quality, there are Codes Alimentarius, other regulations are there. So one must, after the product is ready, it must be checked for its quality parameters. For example, if it's a baby food, then what is the viscosity, or what is the nutritive value for, so all those parameters have to be met on on the standards.
Okay. Again, Mr. Mohan is asking, how about the comparison of Sona Masuri rice or Chitti Muttalaya basmati rice with millets?
I have also seen some ads saying basmati rice with having very low glycemic index. But unless one does testing with particular millet, which millet he wants to know about?
That he has not mentioned, sir. Mr. Mohan, can you please post which millet? Okay, we'll wait for it, ma'am. I'll take up the next question.
Okay.
What are some innovative or successful case studies of value addition in small millets that can inspire farmers and agri entrepreneurs?
In some regions, there are presently there are about 500 startups who have taken up millets and working on those. And so naturally, without success, nobody would go ahead. And in this region, in hills, there are some shops where millet products are popular, and some self-help groups, SHGs, Saras is there. So they are very successful. They are selling millet flour, whole millet grains, and they are not selling products with secondary processing. Simple, they are quite successful. Saras market is very successful in selling the millet products.
Okay. How can individuals or small-scale farmers access training or knowledge on value addition techniques for small millets?
They can approach Indian Institute of Millet Research, which is supposed to be hub and center of excellence. And then there are some in state agriculture universities. There are food science departments, home science colleges. Now they are known as community science colleges, certain NGOs. So they can search online and then see, they can get training. When we were working then with collaborating with some NGOs, we used to give trainings, and with some government departments. So they can see online many such departments or institutes, and they can get it.
Okay. Mr. Mohan has replied back, is telling ragi or sorghum.
Ragi or sorghum with rice.
Yes, ma'am. Basmati rice.
With basmati rice, whatever so far the studies I have seen, none of the studies showed means comparison with basmati rice, but in general, millet would have lower glycemic index as compared to basmati rice. And even if it becomes same, there are other added advantages. There are other added advantages of say high mineral content, high fiber content. So millet would be much better as compared to rice. It may be any kind of rice.
Okay. I'll go on to the next question, ma'am. What are the potential health benefits associated with consuming value-added products from small millets? How can this be communicated to consumers?
Potential health benefits, first of all, diabetes is so much is increasing at alarming rate. India is termed as diabetes capital of the world. So it has millet consumption has role in prevention of diabetes, prevention of heart disease, prevention of cancer, prevention of say stroke, then prevention of osteoporosis. So these are the health benefits. And most of the things, they become very popular when it is advertised on the television. Maggie, it became so popular. Uncle Chips, all these are advertised on the television. So I would say that television is the best media to make them popular. And then, of course, a lot of efforts are being made nowadays, like in newspapers and magazines and trainings, and then even means online also, availability also makes people aware. So through these and through talks also means and displays in the country. Several exhibitions are there, displays are there. So at that time, when if the products are displayed and health benefits are told to people, then I think this would be like people will become aware. Otherwise, people go just after taste. Nobody, and sometimes they also confused. I came across one adolescent girl. She took omelette and bread, and then she said, "Okay, I'll take some millet poha." So why? Matlab, there was like thinking was that it is like a tablet. If you take millet, then this will decrease your weight overnight. This is not so. Slowly and slowly, like it is not a drug, it is a food. So it has definite impact on the body. But if the person health at say at the age of 60 or 70 is determined by what the person has been eating throughout. So we have to be very much say aware that what foods to be given to our children, and this means this should also be brought to knowledge of people that fast foods or means junk foods, they must be avoided, and millet incorporated foods should be replaced with those foods, because people go after taste. So okay, they like pizza, so you have this pizza instead of taking those. So this way, by several means, not a single medium will work. By all means, if it is popularized, then it will be, I think, successful.
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am. We have now completed the round of questions on behalf of agricultureinformation.com. We like to thank Dr. Sarita Srivastava for the talk and for answering the question. I like to also thank all the participants in this meeting. This meeting will now be closed.
Okay, thank you.
You're most welcome.
Okay, should I leave?
Yes, ma'am. Please,
Okay.
you can leave.